Well, we are at the top of the hour. Thanks for joining us, everybody, and welcome to this webinar today. We're going to talk about Trimble ProjectSight, which is Trimble's next generation project management platform. And in addition to that, we're really going to focus more on the people part of the problem. We're going to talk about accountability in construction and how to align your teams and get organized around a structured environment. So my name is Dave Keene. I'm joined today by my colleague Matt Rank. By way of introductions, I've been with Trimble for 12 years. Before that, I had an 18-year career in project management, operations management. Uh, Came from a construction family and have a real passion for project controls and execution and good financial sound projects. So Matt, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, hi everybody. My name is Matt Rank. I am a project management product specialist here at Trimble. I've been with Trimble about 3 years after spending roughly 7 years in the construction industry as well. I was a project manager, did some work as a design build engineer. And when I worked for a contractor, one of my greatest passions or things that I really drove to do was helping owners find savings, find value on their projects without compromising performance or any end results. And with Trimble here, I get to kind of carry that over and help you guys as contractors find savings by becoming more efficient in the way you're doing your day-to-day tasks as well. So happy to be here, excited to be chatting today.
Very cool. So one of the reasons or one of the biggest things that we hear about all the time is the cost of inefficiency. And one of the best studies about that was done a couple of years ago by FMI research firm, and they came up with 48% of rework could be attributed to poor data and miscommunication. And what that really translates to is $177 billion across the industry, and at a user level, 14 hours a week. So it just begs the question, what would you do if you had 14 extra hours in a week where you weren't looking to find information through your email or through your Google Drive or all the different systems that you use? So we're going to talk about ways to reclaim your time, train your team to work within a structure, and hold on to a lot more of your profits through accountability in some of this process. So as we get started here, we'll define accountability. It has a lot of different meanings in the world, but for today, we're going to define it as what you see up on the screen here and just add ownership. You know, we've all worked with people on construction projects who love to play email tag. I sent you that, I gave you that, it's in, check your email. But that's very passive. It doesn't really install ownership and it doesn't really help get things done. What we're going to be talking about and what we're looking for in our project teams is, hey, I own this. My team is in sync because we collaborated on it. It's in the structured system. It's deep enough to hold on to our projects and make sure that data is flowing and things are getting done and everybody knows where the other stands. So that's the definitions that we'll be going by, and that's really the driver for what we want to talk about today. So this is our agenda today. We're going to talk about a high-level overview of ProjectSight. If you don't already know what it is, we're going to talk about how to establish that accountability through workflows that will engage all the different stakeholders to do their job in tandem with their teammates. And then we're going to talk about how ProjectSight benefits a great deal from Trimble's overall AI strategy. And then we'll talk about changes and how it can kill your profit unless you're really on top of them. We'll talk about some of the workflows that'll help benefit a lot of companies when they upgrade their change process. Lastly, we'll talk a lot about highlight some of the work that's going on in the development community that's benefiting our clients and benefiting the ProjectSight platform. And then we'll open it up for Q&A. So that's what we'll do today. A lot of customers may not be familiar with ProjectSight. Could you give us a high-level overview to just level set a little bit and help us understand it at a quick level?
Absolutely. So ProjectSight is a web-based project management platform. It's going to allow you to replace paper documentation out on a job site and streamline communication and collaboration between your project teams. Things like managing your drawings, your specifications, your photos, RFIs, submittals, other project documentation through ProjectSight makes the information accessible in real time and in an easy to find location. Field teams can easily upload daily reports and other information to keep you apprised with what's happening on the job site without the need for you to actually go and visit. ProjectSight is extremely configurable, meaning you can tailor the software to be your product and giving you the control of what others can see, access, or do inside your system, while being the database to own your own information and help defend against any project disputes that may come up in a project lifecycle. On top of documentation, ProjectSight also has some financial capabilities, including managing your budget, commitments, job costs, changes to any and all of the above. ProjectSight not only keeps you organized and informed, but it also helps you get ahead of any incoming issues or changes that are coming to your jobs. By staying in front of these changes and having a breadcrumb trail of documentation that led to them, ProjectSight gives you all the ammo you need the next time you're fighting for those extra dollars associated with the change order. With a file library to handle any other files that may not fit into one of our record types, as well as a 3D model viewer built into the solution, there's no shortage of information a project manager will have at their fingertips. One of those is using the combination of statusing and assignments, keeping it kind of fluid where you need to, or the other one's taking advantage of the automated ball and court workflow process. Oh, I apologize. That's where I bring up that one here. Move that one there. So statuses in ProjectSight are completely configurable, allowing companies to have as many statuses, whatever statuses you want them to be. And alongside those statuses, any user, licensed or not, can be given assignments with due dates associated to those assignments. Where ball and court workflow really starts to differ from just using those statuses and assignments is the automation of the process. Admins can build reusable templates for records to standardize any complex process. Instead of assigning a person, ProjectSight allows them to create a role-based assignment, which allows the template to be dynamic and reusable across multiple projects. When these templates are put into use, a user will simply just click submit to complete their task, and ProjectSight automatically hands off the record and sends a notification to the next person in the workflow. One of the benefits of ProjectSight's ball and court workflow is the ability to easily create custom views and run reports to monitor whose court the ball is in. And these views allow for dynamic reporting of information that's important to the user, whether it's across just my individual project or all projects in my portfolio.
So if you were at Trimble Dimensions, or if you missed us at Trimble Dimensions, AI was the biggest topic, as you'd expect, for us this year. And it's the way we look at AI is it's not just ChatGPT with a construction bias. It's not searching the web for information. Well, our strategy is really to automate tasks and to deliver insights through agentic workflows and free users up to be able to use their time a lot more effectively for strategy rather than just doing tasks. So another big pillar is inviting the dev community into it with Trimble Agent Studio, which is a platform which allows the development community to build other agents that helps our strategy. And all of it is within the security, governance, data privacy, and then the security roles that are set up and permissions within your company as well. So basically, not letting users who wouldn't have access to information if they are logged into any of the programs get it delivered to them through the AI. So that's a very high level overview of the AI strategy that we talked about at Dimensions. But at the heart of it all, ProjectSight is one of the biggest winners of the AI in terms of stuff that we have out already on the street that people are using every day. So at the heart of it all, our focus is to take tedious tasks off your plate and free you up to do strategy work. Matt, would you like to tell us a little bit about some of the first workflows that we have in ProjectSight right now?
Yeah, absolutely. The AI is really, from like Dave said, it's what's going to drive ProjectSight towards our ultimate vision. Where we kind of differ from some other solutions out there is that we want AI always working in the background, so you are interacting with it as little as possible, but still able to get all the information you need out of the system. So to reiterate what Dave said, the less time you're spending on mundane tasks, the more you can spend actually doing your job. Like I said, we're already baked into some of into ProjectSight. One of those examples is going to be our AI drawing upload process. So if I share that screen here, and with our AI drawing upload process, all a user truly needs to do is just really drag and drop my drawings over into this upload here. I'm choosing which drawing set it's going to be a part of. Then ProjectSight handles the rest. All I'm doing here is pressing go. It's going to process those drawings in the background. It's going to automatically give me detailed information such as my job, my page number, my page title. It's going to grab the discipline based on some rules I have set, and then that revision date is going to automatically populate as well. It is right now incrementally doing your revisions, so it's tracking your version control. It's always showing you that most current set in our drawings.
Great. So that's a really good example, because big drawing batches never seem to come at a slow time in a project. They're almost always, hey, this bulletin's just issued. It's immediate that we get it out to all the different subs and start gathering the quotes and all that stuff. Or even at the beginning of a job, it's like it's always a really time-consuming task that it goes a whole lot faster.
You're right, Dave. Construction projects are increasingly expecting more to be done with a tighter schedule. And when changes happens, we can't waste time getting that information out in the field. Back in my previous life as a project manager, a change to drawings meant I had to first download, analyze those differences. I had to go to our printer and print out the 40 plan pages of changes, usually on that 36 by 48 sheet. Roll them up, jump in my car, drive 45 minutes to the high school that the guys were working at, roam the halls to finally find them, then explain to them why and what those changes were. And I'm sure you can imagine, for a job that was 16 weeks start to finish and had over 30 different construction bulletins come to it, you could probably do the math about how much time was wasted just behind the windshield, and just walking around the halls with little work being done because the field guys were on hold.
And chasing subs of the same information. Yeah, great.
Absolutely.
Great point.
Absolutely. And that being said, AI just isn't just helping the project managers or project admins with their daily data entry. We also have AI that's helping the field reduce the amount of time that they need to enter data, so they can spend more time building and doing what they're actually there to do. So what that's going to look like is our AI daily reports. When logging into the app, creating a new daily report, we have the ability to talk to Charlie, our ProjectSight assistant. So if I say create a labor entry for the company Baker, their concrete crew was out laying rebar in the north parking lot, Charlie's going to understand what I'm saying. It's using natural voice recognition. It's going to put all that information where it belongs inside my daily report. It's even going to respond to me with a little bit of voice.
Great. I've set up the concrete crew labor entry for your review. Please accept or reject the...
Now I can review.
Okay. Applying labor suggestion for Baker.
Charlie. I can now review whether what Charlie said, did he understand it correctly? If I need to ever make changes, like you'll see here in a minute, I gave it not a great entrance. It came back and says, hey, I'm not sure what you mean. You're missing a little bit of information in here. I can go back and now
there's a company called
information. So he's recognizing, hey, are you sure? Is this what you want? Is this how you want it? I respond to that. I can still do voice. I can do text into it, and it's going to populate that information for me. Now, once that's in there, I can complete my daily report, add additional backup photos, quickly fill out any other mandatory fields. Again, this was just an example that you can still use text if you need to, but most of that labor entry can be done via voice into that daily report.
Awesome. The time studies that we've done so far on this feature talk about turning a daily report exercise from 17 minutes down to 5 minutes, 70% time savings. And just in terms of the impact of that, getting back down to the people aspect, from a legal standpoint, daily reports are some of the most critical records, probably the most critical record outside of the contract. They're timestamped, manpower counted documentation with photos and 360 captures of all the instructions that were given on a day. They never matter, or you never know if they matter on the day they happen or when they'll ever be used. But from a legal standpoint, or if you're ever deposed, or if you ever need to defend a change, or they're just invaluable. And there's no takebacks, no omissions. I forgot to put it in there. You only get really one chance at it. And the AI does a great job at bringing up context and does this belong? Does that belong? So really a great tool there. Really drives a lot of accountability like we're talking about. So Matt, one other thing that also came up at Dimensions a lot, when we asked a room, hey, how many managers out there review and approve every change? And really the ones that were doing it in, any offline system or just a Word doc, or even there's still triplicate carbon daily reports being done. The answer was no, no, we don't really do it. And it's really important. It should be done every day. So is that supported by ProjectSight, Matt?
Absolutely. Absolutely approving a daily report, really approving anything inside of ProjectSight, which kind of leads us to our next AI solution that's already in ProjectSight, and that's going to be our submittal log and submittal log generation. So with our submittal logs, we do have, apologies, let me hide that, make it bigger for you guys. We'll start it over so you can actually see it. Oh, now I'm causing all sorts of dizziness for you guys here. ProjectSight AI submittal log generation, or what we call submittal scribe, where you go through and click which specification sections you want it to generate a submittal for. Again, I click go, AI does it all. I go back to doing whatever I need to do. I can really start to decrease the amount of time it has for me to set up a project, and it can create, these 87 submittals or hundreds of submittals in a matter of seconds or minutes, as opposed to the hours it would have taken for you to do that process. Of course, once it's created, I can always bulk edit my submittals and assign them out to who needs to be assigned, and get that information out where it needs to go.
That's awesome. So, gets us to that. What would you do at the time? AI gives you a whole lot of that time back. What are some of the biggest impacts to your projects or time commitments? It's really change management. So that's really something that our customers tell us all the time is it's really important that we have a financial visibility of all of our changes. It's really important that we collect documentation. It's really important that everybody's on the same page here. There's real high stakes. It's often when a change comes out, or if it's field driven, it's often a zero-sum game. There's winners and there's losers, and there's not a lot of room for everybody to make money on them. And one of the biggest ways to protect yourself is by timeliness and by good process and by thorough documentation. So aside from that, our finance teams really benefit from it as well. And one of the key features of ProjectSight, if you happen to be a Trimble ERP customer, is that the minute something is observed out in the field and it's documented and quantified with a cost, even though it may never matriculate into a change or it may never get there, there's financial visibility across the whole organization. Ops leaders back at their desk can see, oh yeah, something may be brewing, maybe something to micromanage. From the minute it becomes a possibility. So Matt, in both a standalone environment, where if you're using ProjectSight just by itself, or if you're a Trimble ERP customer, can you walk us through what that workflow can look like?
Absolutely. ProjectSight's change order workflow, it's very strong for our standalone customers, and it actually gets even better for those that are connected to a Trimble ERP here. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this over to screen as well. Through the visibility, transparency, and linkability that you get with ProjectSight, you can follow an issue that's created in the field all the way through to your own change order on your contracts. Anytime you're issuing subcontract change orders as well, ProjectSight helps you leave that breadcrumb trail of everything along the way. So you have that confidence that when you walk into a change order meeting, you already have all the backup that you need. That's going to make that conversation so much easier. You can start with the issue on my drawing, whether it's mobile application or the web browser. Once I put in all my relevant information, ProjectSight keeps that. It keeps that link together. I can assign other people. I can add updates. I can add comments into the solution there as well. When that issue becomes, when I know that's becoming a potential change order, I create that right from my issue screen. Now these are linked together still. I'm still seeing that breadcrumb trail. I'm still understanding where it's coming from. Once I get inside that potential change order, I'm building it out by my line item. But the nice thing here is I don't have to just do it all myself. I can assign different line items to my subs, to my vendors who are also going to provide information for me. They're going to show up in that proposed column. I'm not having to manually do that information for them. And I can really get detailed and granular in how this change is affecting, all the contracts it's affecting, and all the changes that come along with it. Each of those individual line items can then be tied to subcontracts. I can apply any markups that I'm allowed to do per my contract. And then once those PCOs are created or potential change orders are created, then I can use that information and now develop my subcontract change orders and my prime contract change orders as well.
Got it. So earlier we talked about how the workflow holds up really well by itself, but it is even stronger if it's connected to a Trimble ERP. Let's talk about that a little bit. What does that look like, Matt?
Absolutely. So imagine you're in a situation where you've got your foreman out in the field on his iPad. You've got your project manager, whether he's on the road, he's in a job site trailer, he's back in the office, wherever he is, he's on his laptop doing his work. And then you've got your accountant back in the office who's keeping an eye on the things they need to keep an eye on. Going back to kind of the start of that workflow, let's imagine that issue. That issue is done by the foreman. It's automatically pushed back to the PM. It's not a phone call. It's not having to have that conversation. Now where that integration, where that stronger workflow comes into play is when I build that PCO, it's not just living in ProjectSight. It's automatically flowing that information over into my accounting solution. Take it a step further. Once I'm that accounting solution, once that PCO gets approved, it's also in my subcontract change order, my prime contract change order are automatically flowing. The PM doesn't have to go and talk to the accountant. You don't have to get on the phone and have that conversation. That communication is all flowing natively there.
So walk us through like how to issue that to the subcontractor.
Yeah, absolutely. So if we take this kind of one step further, because we're now integrated into our ERP solution, into our accounting, if we have other solutions, for example, Trimble Pay, where I am managing my subcontractor compliance, my subcontractor payments, because that's integrated, it's technically long about way integrated with ProjectSight as well. Now that information that I pushed into my accounting system can also flow into those other products. So that subcontractor, again, he's got a database, he's got a spot where he can go to access all that same information. Again, there's no emails going around. I mean, there's notifications probably coming in via email, but there's no text messages, phone calls, other than maybe notifying. It's all handled digitally. It's all handled, one data point entry, not having to input that information in multiple different spots.
Awesome. And then one question that comes up all the time is what level of oversight or what permissions do people have? I think the answer is that it's generally very configurable. It's up to the company, but almost everybody that we talk to has pretty strict policy that the project team can only carry it so far. They can make it visible to the project accounting team, but at the end of the day, the actual writing it onto the contract, changing the contract and budget, and that's all done, in the accounting system by people that they deem credentialed to do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome. So that kind of brings up, these are some of the most powerful native integrations that we deliver together, but it brings up a really awesome next topic is the development community and the integrations workflow that we have with our partner network. So looking at what Trimble Construction One is, Trimble has such a broad footprint in construction. We have solutions, and we probably deal with a lot of the folks on the call to help with estimating, prefab, design and detailing, project management, production tracking, project financials and controls, HR management, payment, robotic layout, laser scanning, augmented reality. I'm actually not done. There's a whole lot more, but basically the breadth of all these solutions is really what makes Trimble and ProjectSight, the Trimble Construction One, such a strong platform. It has so many different tentacles to it. But the biggest thing is that it's an open ecosystem. We do rely on, construction technology is very dynamic right now. There's a lot of solutions out there in the world, and we really rely on our development community and the contributors to the marketplace. So let's look at that a little bit. What are some of the integrations that our partners and development community pitch into ProjectSight, Matt?
Yeah, absolutely. So what's already out in our marketplace, obviously you have our internal integrations you're seeing on the screen, but some of those pre-built ones that already exist, Document Crunch, connecting to Procore, connecting to DataGrid, First Rule, some of these are coming soon. Again, we have those connections to Vista and Spectrum as our Trimble ERP solutions, connections with Trimble Connect, Unity Construct or eBuilder. If you have any owners that are using that, we've got those communications, we've got connections. That absolutely we can dive a little further into, but just know these ones exist. There's plenty more out there that are being added to the marketplace every week.
Awesome. One of the prominent ones there on the screen there is Procore, and we hear this all the time. Hey, I love ProjectSight, but periodically I'm obligated by my contract to talk or submit records to the CM's Procore or the owner's Procore. We hear that a lot. What does that integration solve for?
So that integration, like you said, it answers the question why do I need my own project management solution when I have to put this into the general contractors or the owners or whoever my customer is, their solution anyway. And the reason there is because you still want to own all your own information. You still want to have your own solution that helps you create and manage those documents. So our integration with Procore, the way that's configured is that when I have something like an RFI or submittal that I am supposed to be submitting over to my customer's Procore, just based on your statuses, that can push automatically. We've got your drawings that you've got, the drawing updates that come over from Procore are coming over and populating in ProjectSight for me to review and push out. So I'm not having to download and re-upload those drawings to get it out to my field personnel. And of course, other files communicating inside our file library can push as needed based on how you do have that set up. So the idea there is let's reduce as much double entry as we can. Let's get it in there once and let the technology world push the information where it needs to go, break down those silos and really drive, efficiency and making yourself better.
That's awesome. And another thing that you brought up, Matt, is a lot of customers tell us they really appreciate that firewall. A lot of the communication that they use ProjectSight for isn't for public consumption. It's to do with procurement or sub-management or issue resolution that they don't necessarily want the owner or CM to know about, so they can manage it in the system that they've configured to their needs and made it work for them, at the same time as letting the controlled flow of records go to Procore, so they get the best of both worlds, operate once, do data entry once, and satisfy everybody in the project.
All right, we got one highlighted here. We received drawings from various vendors, engineers with different title blocks. How does the drawing upload process learn these variations within a drawing set for a project? So drawing into Trimble's experience and the long history that we have in the construction industry, that's where AI, in the past, you'd have to go and you'd have to highlight where's the page title, where's the page number. And we have run, our AI is like a trained learning model. So we've run, thousands and thousands of different types of drawings through there to where we are able to, AI has learned, hey, here's what I'm looking for. And here's what I need to get to and where that information is. So again, I'm not having to manually highlight it. How that technically works, how they know where it is. There's people a lot smarter than me that certainly know the how that happens, but just know that we have pushed a lot of different information through there to train that AI to bring in that information. Dave, another one coming in here. On submittals, the list is crowded with revisions. Is my opinion that it would be better if they stack, similar to the way the drawings do, rather than creating a new submittal for every revision. Definitely appreciate that. We do have something to note. Talk to your account executive, talk to your product specialist if you are using this, if you've worked with a sales engineer, we have monthly, bi-weekly meetings with our product team to give that kind of feedback to our teams, as well as we do have a forum. So if you're a current user, you go up to that resource center, and we've got a forum, you can pitch those ideas. Just know that there are ways you can start to group and sort inside those submittals to start to kind of hide some of those older revisions as well. I've had a lot of customers that they just use a status. Once it gets to a certain status and a new revision is created, they're able to hide that from their view. So it really does uncrowd or free up that list a little bit.
All right. Their questions are coming fast. We're going to answer a lot of them offline, but one that just came in was, does ProjectSight's mobile app have a camera tool to take photos directly with the app to upload into the Photos tool?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We've got the ProjectSight mobile app. Wherever I'm uploading information, wherever I'm putting in, whether it's a daily report, whether it's an issue, whether it's an RFI, even directly on the drawing, there's going to be a little camera icon. I don't have to leave it, take the photo, save it, and then upload it. I'll be able to just take that photo right from that record and bring that in.
Another one was, can you use AI to compare prints for any discrepancies?
So there's no AI behind it, but we do have a compare functionality between our between two different drawings for what's changed or what's different between the two. You can compare your specifications side by side, and it's going to highlight what's different between those two pages. Where if you're looking for like contract comparison, contract review type of stuff, that's where some of our partners like Document Crunch is going to take advantage of that that integration we have with them, where that's what they are built to do. But we definitely have that compare functionality inside my drawings and specifications.
Cool. And then, is the draft submittal status viewable to everyone invited to the project regardless of permissions?
The draft submittal status, if you select, closing my eyes so I can read through my settings in my head, you can make it so every record is visible to everybody or just to the ones they're invited to. The draft status, I believe, is actually not visible until it becomes a record, at least to your collaborators. If it's a licensed user, it's definitely visible to all of them. I think with collaborators, we have to get it out of the draft status, but Dave, let's make a note and I'm going to follow up on that one, and we'll send it out with the official answer and an FAQ afterwards.
Okay. One of them was, do you need Trimble ERP to use this project?
We definitely do not. ProjectSight works very well standalone. It's even got some additional financial capabilities if you're using something like a QuickBooks or a something limited, or also if you want to just use it standalone and not worry about our financials, you're more than welcome to. ProjectSight can meet you where you're at, can meet you with what you need, can really simplify and make it very easy to use, or you can get very detailed and granular with the amount of information you put in there.
Good point. I'd say just for standalone, it is obviously better connected to an ERP, but if you're using a standalone, think of all the logs and saving, and you still get the same benefit of central location. Everything is logged, everything is documented, and you can just run reports and bring in the context of all the photos and documents that led to it as well. So I think there's a huge benefit to it standalone as well.
Hey Dave, here's a question I'll ask you. One of our viewers asked, they have the Procore tie-in set up, but none of their GCs want to utilize it. Do you have any tips for them for that conversation?
Yeah, that is a fair point. There is the administrator for Procore would just have to download an app and allow it. And when that first came out last year, the first reaction was, what is this? What do I have to do? And why should I do it? but when it's getting a lot more mainstream, and I think you can usually convince a CM that, hey, that it's not a big ask. It doesn't entitle me to do anything that I couldn't otherwise do in Procore. It just lets information flow faster. So I think we are seeing that's not as big of an issue as it was in the first month or two when it came out, and I think the benefit is for them as well.
All right, let's see here. Probably have time for a couple more questions here, Dave. Let's do this one here. Does the software actually apply costs associated with the project, such as actual worked hours versus material receipts uploaded, to track current status of a project that ties back to the spreadsheets shown earlier for job tracking? For example, when verbally speaking into the software through on-site and hours worked. So costs that are hitting my job, hours that are hitting my job, invoices that are hitting my job over in that ERP are communicating back over to ProjectSight if you are a Vista or Spectrum user. As far as kind of comparing them, forecasting, today there's nothing in there, but there is something. It is in conversation that we are aware that we need to get, or we want to add something for integration there as well. Another one for you, Dave, here. I'll ask you, we currently use Vista and are rolling out Tekla PowerFab for our fabrication division. Will ProjectSight work with both Vista and PowerFab?
That is a good question. This is I don't know if you have a better answer for that one, Matt. That one might take offline, but there is a development of PowerFab to ProjectSight, and it's new, and I don't know,
yeah,
ready.
It actually is new. It's exciting. We do have an integration with PowerFab. PowerFab, it will push over some information. It also gives you direct links. So if I'm in PowerFab, I need to do an RFI. There's a button I click. It takes me right to ProjectSight to do that RFI. So definitely get with your account executive. Ask them to get with either the ProjectSight and or PowerFab team to kind of talk through how that integration looks. But most certainly does. There is that new PowerFab integration to ProjectSight.
Okay, we're almost up on time, but let's take one more. This one was, can the architect and engineers be pulled from the job setup so that you can use role-based workflows instead that have pulled from that information? I think that's basically saying, how can you, how can you use role security settings or role settings to determine what users get to see or what they participate in?
Absolutely. So in my settings, in my user database, in ProjectSight, I can assign either at the project level or at the portfolio level a workflow role. So when I'm setting up my workflows, I can use those roles based on how I assigned them in that project. We also do have some other, if it's not for that ball and court workflow structure, we do have in that project setup, there is a list of different roles of the project where if you are, there are ways, yes, you can use those roles to do the non-ball and court workflow automatic assignments and things, but definitely if you need to learn more about that, I'm happy to get on a call and dive a little deeper. But you absolutely can do it based on workflow roles as opposed to having to manually assign a person every single time. That way it's more repeatable and a little easier to use.
Great. All right. Why don't you flash that QR code, Matt, and thank everybody for joining us today. If you would like to learn more, you can reply to that poll or hit this QR code, and a schedule will call you to schedule a demo, and we look forward to it. So thanks everybody for joining, and look forward to you on the next one.